So I thought it'd be interesting to try and explain a little bit about how AI works in simple forms. And I think most people are aware it's all about the data, and the more data you feed AI, the better. And AI isn't really intelligent. It's really just spotting patterns. So it's not thinking for itself, it's spotting patterns. And I thought it'd be useful just to have a bit of an example. And I haven't pre-warned him about this, but I'm gonna get Harry to jump in front of the camera. Now, Harry, come on, mate, you come over in the front of the camera and I'll explain what I'm gonna do. So using the highly intelligent human, that is Harry Clark, the videographer, I'm gonna try and get him to simulate AI. And Harry is a mid-20s fella who has lived his life. So he has a lot of inputs from data. From birth, he's been consuming everything around him. So his brain is wired in a certain way. And I'm gonna ask him questions, and he's got to answer with one word only, mate.
Okay.
The first word that comes to your mind. There's no trick questions, it's just a question, and I'm going to demonstrate how clever you are, all right?
Okay.
So the first question is this. What does the letters M-O-S-T spell?
Most.
Very good, okay? So most is the answer. What does the letters C-O-A-S-T spell?
Coast.
Very good, okay? So now Harry's head has made the linkage between most and coast. So when I say, Harry, what do the letters, B-O-A-S-T spell?
Boast.
Very, very good. So we're all good. So there was like, Harry, what does a hostess do? It's not a trick question. One word. What does a hostess do?
Helps.
She hosts, Harry. All right, so you failed at that basic test. So your brain had made the linkage between most, coast, boast, and the idea was you were meant to answer host. You didn't, so this example was about to go wrong, wasn't it? But we'll keep going. All right, so we'll keep going. So what does a postman deliver, Harry?
Post.
Very good. And so your brain is continuing to make that association, so you are guessing what the answer is going to be.
Right.
Harry, what do you put in a toaster?
Toast.
And that's a hallucination, because you actually put bread in a toaster.
I'm sorry.
You put bread in a toaster and toast it comes out.
Yes, you do, yeah.
So this is an example, and Harry, you can leave now, because frankly you've just failed it. But that hopefully gives an example of what AI does. It basically makes assumptions and assumes an answer based on previous data. And in Harry's example, although he did fail halfway through that, I probably should have briefed him on that. Harry's brain was working out, right, okay, the answers are likely to sound like oast. And therefore, when I ask a question, it'll give you the oast answer. And that's how AI works. It looks at the previous patterns of all the data and gives you the most likely answer in the context of what's going on. And Harry's response of toast, when we asked him the toast question, is an example of a hallucination. Harry's brain was thinking all the answers are going to end up in oast, but in reality, if he'd have thought about it, he would have known that you put bread in a toaster and not toast in a toaster, because it's already toasted, you wombat. So that is where hallucinations come from. And if you think, that's obviously quite a simple example. More broadly than that, things like ChatGPT and some of the big AI products are consuming vast amounts of data. And the concept of a large language model is thus, basically, if you feed it all the words on the internet, which is pretty much what ChatGPT and other LLMs are based on, it's got a massive corpus of data, and it can see all the patterns between all the different words. And so what it's done is it's mapped all those words together, and it'll give you the answer based on the most likely next word. So if you ask a question of ChatGPT, which is, who is Boris Johnson, it is likely to give you an answer. Boris is a politician and he comes from this area, because it's picking out the word Boris Johnson on the internet and it's giving you an answer appropriately. Now, the fact that it's got that data gives you an indication of where it can go wrong. So a lot of people refer to AI as the average of the internet. ChatGPT and other large language models have consumed the whole internet, and they're all trained on all of the pages of the internet. The reality is the internet has got certain biases, and people who write all sorts of rubbish on the internet that frankly could change people's perceptions. And if you think AI or ChatGPT and those sort of tools have consumed a lot of that rubbish, that's why it can come up with a wrong answer sometimes. And so you've got to be really careful when you're working with AI as to how those sort of things work, and making sure you're aware that it can't be perfect all the time unless you're really careful about the training data it's got. But hopefully that gives an example. AI is just a massive corpus of data, spotting patterns in that data, mathematically trying to guess what the next answer is, such that we get to a position where it looks like it's generating its own content.